I'm back with another triggering topic. I wanted to talk about this tragic story of the unaliving of a 6-year-old boy named Chance Crawford. Now, I read up on this case, and after doing that, I think that it may have possibly been able to have been prevented if people took violence and misogyny against women seriously. But I'm going to show you guys how I came up to that conclusion. But first, I want to play y'all some clips, and I'll be right back.
The grieving mother of the 6-year-old boy beaten to death with a piece of lumber is speaking exclusively to ABC7. Her son's babysitter, Ernest Love, is charged with murder and torture. Orange County reporter David Gonzalez has the heartbreaking story.
I was genuinely blindsided. I trusted him with my son.
Charlene Sefour's heart is crushed knowing the person she believed would take care of her son, Chance Crawford, instead caused him unimaginable pain.
He died a brutal death. It was brutal. He did not deserve to go out that way.
Yes. You did that, man. See that? There's going to be a lot of stuff you're scared of, but it don't matter. You got to push through it.
Okay.
This is one of the many videos Ernest Lamar Love sent to Chance's mom anytime he babysat.
He came in my son's life just as a male figure. He taught him things. He helped him overcome certain fears that my son had.
But on August 30th, Sefour's life began to crumble after she dropped Chance off at Love's barbershop in Placentia before heading off to work at St. Joseph's Hospital. Later that night, Love called to tell her he was rushing Chance to the hospital.
He did tell me that he was doing jumping jacks. He had him working out and he fell and hit his head. And that's what's hard for me because I believed him. He told me.
Prosecutors say Love had beat the 6-year-old with a piece of lumber for wetting his pants at a park, then poured hydrogen peroxide on the open wounds and forced him to exercise until he collapsed.
How could you do this to a child? It doesn't warrant what happened.
Love, who went by Azariah, was part of Amazing Church in Lake Elsinore as a minister and prophet.
He did the right things. He helped people move. He helped give advice, help people, start businesses.
But he had been suspended from his roles due to inappropriate behavior with women. They never suspected he would be capable of doing what he's accused of.
We poured so much into him and he failed us. He failed us. He failed our faith. He failed us. He failed Charlene.
Most importantly, they say he failed Chance. Chance died on Tuesday after being declared brain dead and taken off life support.
I want justice for my son because he did not deserve that.
This is just an absolutely heartbreaking story. Now Chance's mother is urging other single mothers out there to be extra vigilant as to who watches their children so something like this never ever happens to them.
A tearful goodbye to 6-year-old Chance Crawford as a grieving family tries to remember him in happier times.
Oh, sweetest kid, just a bundle of joy.
But amid the tears, there's anger as Chance's family just found out the cruel and brutal details of his death.
It hit me like a ball of fire, bro, and man, it's just been tragic.
Last Thursday night, Chance's mom went to work an overnight shift at the hospital and dropped off Chance to be babysat by a close friend of hers, someone apparently she met at church. At 1 a.m, that man, 41-year-old Ernest Lamar Love, carried little Chance, who was unconscious and barely breathing, into the ER at Children's Hospital of Orange County, claiming he fell.
It was a little suspicious because there was a lot of police activity.
The Orange County District Attorney's Office says it was far worse. They believe Love tortured and beat that little boy because he wet his pants at the park. Investigators say they have video of Love walking into the barbershop he owned, carrying a large piece of lumber with Chance reluctantly following behind. Once inside, Love allegedly beat him so badly with that large piece of wood, flesh was missing from Chance's butt.
How can someone that's portrayed to be so much of a saint can do this to an innocent young child that's only 6 years old?
It somehow gets worse. The DA's office says after the beating, Love poured hydrogen peroxide on the open wounds and then made the 6-year-old do push-ups, sit-ups, and jumping jacks until he collapsed. Horrifying details the family can't get out of their heads.
Devastated, shocked, didn't know what to think.
Sonia and Dr. Jason Welsh of Amazing Church in Lake Elsinore were with Chance, his mother Charlene, and Ernest at the hospital, all members of their church. They say Ernest told them Chance had had an accident.
He had socks on and he was doing jumping jacks, fell and hit his head.
But the injuries were so severe, they say Ernest's story didn't make any sense.
When I got there, you could see the bulging on the side of his face. For me, it looked more than just a fall.
Sonia and Jason have known Ernest for more than a decade. He served as a minister at their church, and they say everyone trusted him.
We're crying over Chance. We're consoling Charlene. And then we're over here like, man, what happened to Ernest? Like, what? We're losing 3 people to this. We're losing 3 persons.
Tragic. Especially because it seemed so out of character for him in particular.
Yeah, they're telling me that he was loved and respected, and people went to him when they had problems.
Which is why she trusted him with her child.
I think somebody could snap.
I'm sorry, you guys. I know that was probably very triggering, and I know that it was truly disgusting to hear a man that abused and unalived a child in such a horrific manner. Now, I don't know all of the details of this case, but it really was feeling to me like this could have been prevented, because this man had been suspended from his duties due to inappropriate behavior with women. Why wasn't he kicked out of the church? Why are people still allowing him to be around? Why is he allowed to babysit? Why didn't the lead pastor and his wife warn this woman about this man's behavior? You guys said that you knew this man for over a decade, and he's being inappropriate with women at your church at 41 years old, and that's not a red flag to y'all? Y'all still think that he's a good man and someone to go for advice and someone to be watching people's children and so-called mentoring people's children? A man that preys upon women in any way does not possess good character, and you don't know what he may or may not be capable of. And if people took men overstepping boundaries and violating women seriously, then maybe this wouldn't have happened. And I was looking in his eyes, and I saw the same eyes that I oftentimes see in men that commit horrific crimes. Those same dead, lifeless eyes. Now, I saw this posted on a blog site. Now, I couldn't find any news articles on this, so let me just say allegedly. But I saw this. It said that he had been suspended due to inappropriate relationships with women, and the news did report that part of it. But it says here that a former member said that every few months he would have a different woman there at the church. And it was also noted that he had a previous criminal background from 2016, which is child abuse and endangerment, corporal injury of a spouse, and disorderly conduct. And what's crazy is, y'all see it, this blog said that this happened in 2016. So the lead pastor and his wife would have known him around this time as well. So why the heck was he still in the church moving around where he could actually be in a position to watch someone's child? And I really feel like the whole church failed this mother. And I understand that she needed help watching her child so that she could work. And she probably felt like, what better place to find someone that could watch my son or help watch my son or even mentor my son? What better place would it be but a church? And, you know, I don't want to victim blame the parents. I really don't. But I really am angry at the pastor and the pastor's wife, because a lot of people put faith in the fact that they were in a church. And oftentimes that trust is misplaced. And the thing about them is that they still gave me vibes that they were still giving him some type of grace, even while they were speaking. And I ain't like that, because he didn't deserve any grace at all. What he did was absolutely horrific, and he didn't have to do that. You end a baby's life because he peed on himself. And, you know, like I said earlier, I really believe that quite often people don't take allegations of inappropriate behavior at the hands of men towards women very seriously. And they think, oh, that's no big deal. He can still be a great man, you know, because that's just how men are. And that's not what it is. Because if you are violating or having inappropriate relations with women, you're not a good person. And I feel like that's what the church was trying to hold on to, because That's why he was suspended, but he was still able to be in a position in the church where he could still gain the trust of women and still gain the trust of mothers. And I just wanted to say to anyone listening to this, I don't feel like you can trust anyone anymore. No one, no men, no women, nobody at all with your children. And I'm going to say this may be controversial, but I honestly believe that if you're a woman and you don't have children yet, but you do want children, I do feel like if you're not in a position to stay at home with your children until they at least can become of school age, and you don't have a support system of people that you deeply trust that can watch your child when you need to go out or you need to run errands or you need to relax, I feel like if you don't have that, then you shouldn't have any children moving forward because it's just too risky. Because the world is getting worse and worse and worse, and no one, and I mean no one, is being spared from the ugliness and the violence that the world has to offer. Not even the babies. But I just really wanted to bring awareness to this case. I don't know everything about it. I don't know everything that occurred or anything. Something else might come out in the future. But I just wanted to let you know, if you're a mother, please be careful. Please be careful with your babies. Please. And I just want to let all my sisters also with children that may not have the best support system, just be aware. If you have to leave your child with someone, be aware. Watch them like a hawk. If you see any red flags, you get any type of weird vibe, please don't leave your child. Even if you know you had to go to work, it's better that you would miss that day than to come back and your child not be alive anymore. And please really background check and look into the background and the character of whoever you are trusting with your children, even if they look good on paper, because we all know that there are a lot of people out there that are living a lie. But you know what? I digress. If you watch this whole video, please do me a favor and drop a 2 in the comments. And you already know why, because what? This man is boo-boo. And you know what? I don't even know if I can say that because he's not even boo-boo. He's just utter filth and scum. And I really feel like it would be insensitive to give my whole speech that I normally do at the end of my video. So I'll just say this. Please, ladies, just drop helpful ways that you feel can help protect mothers and children from men like this in the comments. Anything that you've learned being a mother, any ways that you know to weed out people and to check red flags to protect the boys, the little boys and the little girls, please drop it down below.